4th-ranked Michigan Wolverines return to action after a bye to face their in-state rival, the Michigan State Spartans. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Paul Bunyan on the line. We know the last two meetings, 2020, 2021. Michigan State got the victory. This game has been more of a focus since last year's loss. Last year's loss was a very, very good game. Very, very good game. You give it up to them for winning that game. I'm still very, very upset about the the taking back of Aiden Hutchinson's like sack, fumble, touchdown play, whatever. But hey, things happen all the time, man. You move on. Obviously, I haven't, but that's for another day. In-state rivals, the Backyard Brawl. I don't think Mel Tucker and Jim Harbaugh are gonna exchange pleasantries before this game. Um, I do think that other besides you can throw the records away, basically. Throw the records away because this is Michigan State's biggest game of the year. Every single year. Regardless of what their fan base likes to think, this is their biggest game. They give everything to this game. So you can expect all type of trick plays, all type of really just unorthodox things. There's always some weird shit that happens in this game also, especially when they're the bad team. So, I'm looking for a better effort from Michigan State than Penn State did in our last outing. 41-17 victory over the Nittany Lions. I do expect State to put up more of a physical fight in this game, but I don't think it's going to matter much. They are absolutely atrocious. The best part of their team, honestly, their wide receivers, and 2020 they jump balled us to death. They just dropped back and jump ball. Don Brown's horrible defensive scheme, no adjustments. That's not going to be an issue with Jesse Mentor and this defense. For one, the back end can cover way better than we have in a while. We can cover on the back end. Mike Sainristil, who went from wide receiver to slot corner, some people believe he's the best defensive player on the team because it was that natural of a switch for him, and he's a heck of a cover corner right now. But he's not big, So if they throw jump balls, I don't. Usually they're the outside corner, so I don't know. Jamon Green, DJ Turner, I think they would deal with jump balls more than he would. He's more of he's a slot guy, so it's more crossing routes and middle of the field type things with him. Peyton Thorne, I don't think is a really good quarterback. I think he's just a dude. Their offensive line is atrocious. Their running game sucks. Our defensive line is going to get to the quarterback in this game. I hope that they better max protect if they're smart. They better max protect because Mike Morris is a monster. You know what I'm saying? He has had one hell of a season so far. You got Mozzie Smith in the middle. You got Oki. You got Mason Graham. I can go on and on about the guys we have on the front. But I look forward to them throwing the ball down the field more to test more of the secondary. We haven't really been tested that much this season. I think they'll try to test the secondary. It won't work. But I do think their defensive line is going to try to make it tough on the running game. Their secondary is horrible. It's one of the worst secondaries I've ever seen. It might be worse than last year's when Cade McNamara threw for over 300 yards and he left at least 100-something yards on the field. J.J. McCarthy leads college football in accuracy. You know what I'm saying? He is a better passer than Cade McNamara is. He's not going to miss the throws that Cade's had been missing. But I will say this, our passing game has not been up to par yet this season. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's really no rhythm, um, because we're running the ball so much, nobody can stop it. We're not really taking as many shots down the field as was told to be being done during the season. Um, I think this game, I think JJ has a game. Saturday night, I think JJ has a game through the air. I have absolutely no worries in this game. I think Michigan beats down Michigan State, especially um, the fact that that game last year, you never know how things turn out and what a loss or win can do for your season. That being the only regular season loss for Michigan was a reason why when the college football standings playoffs were announced, they were uh, they were matched up against Georgia instead of being number one themselves. Remember, were they number one at one point going in? Were they? I think Michigan might have been. No, Michigan should have been number one going into the college football playoffs. But what ended up happening was Michigan was number two, and they matched up against Georgia, and then Alabama played Cincinnati. Now, had Michigan had beaten Michigan State and had an unbeaten regular season, no doubt they would have been number one. Um, they would they would have been number one. Um, no, was Alabama would have been two, and then you would have had Georgia 3, Cincinnati 4, Michigan Cincinnati. Michigan beat Cincinnati. I think everybody believes that. So then you would have had in the national championship game, you would have had Michigan going against Georgia or Alabama, and you wouldn't have had that deer in the headlights type of team that looked like, oh, it's our first time here, like we did against Georgia. Georgia was on a mission in that game. Michigan was, you know, before they realized we were in a playoff game, it was over with and quick. I think that loss really irks this football team because their only blemish to a great regular season going into the playoff. And of course, it's your in-state rival, and it's a lot of shit talking that goes on. So I think that in this game, they're going to put a lot of frustration out on that field. Take a lot of frustration out on that field Saturday night. Score prediction for this game. I'll go Michigan 52-13. Michigan State. The spread is 20-21. I think they covered the spread. It's going to be a big recruiting night. It's going to be a lot of top tier guys in the building. A lot of top tier quarterbacks. It's going to be four or five-star quarterbacks Saturday night going to be there. So JJ put on the show, show them what this offense can be. Some top wide receivers are going to be there as well. So wide receivers have one hell of a game. Let's beat the hell out of Sparty. I'm so tired of Sparty. Their season is so miserable. They have nothing else to talk about. So when this game is over with, let's silence them until basketball season because that's really what they care about. But Michigan State, Backyard Brawl this weekend. Go Blue! Peace!